Many people ask me, Shifu, what is the meaning of life? They expect a short answer, but a short answer will only satisfy the mind, not the heart. The meaning of life is not something you can take from someone else, sit's mouth and make it your own. It is something you must live, feel and experience every single day. We human beings often make life more complicated than it is. We chase after positions, possessions, recognition, thinking they will give us meaning. But like water slipping through our fingers, these things are temporary. The moment we grasp too tightly, they are gone. The meaning of life cannot be bought, cannot be borrowed, cannot be stolen. It is born from the way you choose to live, from the way you treat others, from the way you rise after falling. Every day you are writing your own answer to the question of life, through your thoughts, your actions, your discipline. Do not wait for some perfect moment to start living with meaning. Meaning is not found in the future, it is created in this moment. In the Shaolin temple, I learned that life's meaning is not hidden in some mysterious scroll, nor locked in the words of ancient masters. It is revealed through practice, practice of the mind, the body and the heart. When your actions align with your values, when you live in service to something greater than yourself, meaning becomes the natural result. So if you ask me, Shifu, what is the meaning of life, I will say, the meaning of life is to live it with awareness, to grow through its challenges and to give back more than you take. That is a path worth walking. That is a life worth living. Many people come to me with a question, Shifu, what is the meaning of life? Their eyes hold a kind of hunger, a hope that I will give them a single sentence that will lift away the fog in their minds. But meaning is not a coin I can hand you, nor a secret formula that you can write down and keep in your pocket. If I gave you my answer, it would be like giving you my food. It might fill you for a moment, but it will not sustain you for life. You must prepare your own meal. You must cook it with your own effort, your own mistakes, your own patience. In the same way, you must live through your own trials and triumphs to arrive at a meaning that is truly yours. This is why so many people feel empty. They are trying to live on borrowed answers. It is human nature to seek guidance, to want to be told the right way to live. In childhood, we look to parents for this guidance. In youth, we turn to teachers, books, and sometimes strangers who seem wiser than us. And while guidance is valuable, it is only the pointing finger, not the moon itself. Too many people confuse the signpost for the destination. They repeat quotes from great philosophers, memorize teachings from spiritual leaders, or imitate the lifestyle of someone they admire. But imitation is not transformation. If you are only living someone else's meaning, it will crumble the moment life tests you. Only the meaning you have forged through your own journey can withstand storms, because it has roots deep within your own soil. In the Shaolin temple, our daily life was full of repetition. We trained the same movements, the same stances, day after day. Many would ask, Shifu, doesn't it get boring to do the same thing every day? They did not see that each repetition was different, because each day I was different. My body was changing. My mind was changing, my understanding was deepening. The stance that felt easy yesterday might feel heavy today, and the one that felt impossible last month might feel natural now. Life's meaning is similar. On the surface, we might be living through the same patterns, waking up, working, eating, sleeping, but the depth comes from how we experience and respond to these patterns. The meaning is not in the routine itself, but in who you become through the routine, and that cannot be handed to you by another person. Think about this. If meaning could be given like a gift, then everyone who read the same book or heard the same teaching would feel equally fulfilled. But we know this is not the case. Two people can read the same words, and one feels transformed while the other feels nothing. Why? Because the words are seeds, and the soil they fall into is different. Your life experiences, your struggles, your scars, they shape how deeply the seed can grow. This is why you must live your own meaning. The answers that truly matter are not stored in books or hidden in temples. They are revealed in the way you navigate loss, the way you rise after defeat, the way you find beauty in a moment of stillness. No one else can live those moments for you. No one else can feel the weight of your journey. And so the meaning you find will always be as unique as the path you walk. One of the greatest traps in life is the belief that meaning will come from what we can collect or achieve in the external world. Many of us grow up thinking, if I get the right job, the right house, the right recognition, then I will finally feel complete. This belief is so common that it becomes invisible, like the air we breathe. But sooner or later we discover the truth. Titles fade, possessions break, and the applause of others grows silent. If your sense of meaning is built on these things, then it is like building a house on sand. It may stand for a while, but when the storms come, it will collapse. The illusion is not that these things are bad. The illusion is that they can give you lasting fulfillment. In reality, they are temporary and therefore cannot hold the weight of your life's purpose. In the martial arts, we are trained to see through appearances. A student who only chases flashy techniques often misses the foundation of discipline and awareness. Similarly, in life, chasing after possessions or titles without understanding yourself is like polishing the surface of a blade while ignoring that it is rusting from within. I have seen many people who appear successful in the eyes of society, yet when they are alone, they are restless, anxious, or empty. This is because they have climbed a ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. They pursued the illusion that meaning comes from being seen, from being admired, but when the lights go out, they cannot face their own reflection in the mirror. Letting go of illusions is not an act of giving up. It is an act of liberation. It means freeing yourself from the false promises that the external world constantly whispers into your ear. It means understanding that wealth can buy comfort but not peace, that recognition can boost your ego but not nourish your soul. In the Shaolin temple, our rooms were small, our belongings few, and our routines simple. Yet I never met a monk who complained about not having enough. Why? Because our meaning came from within, from the discipline of training, the clarity of meditation, and the joy of serving others. We learned that life's true treasures are not displayed on shelves or worn on the body. They are carried quietly in the heart. The moment you begin to let go of these illusions, you create space for something deeper to enter. You stop measuring your worth by the size of your bank account or the number of people who praise you, and you start measuring it by the quality of your thoughts, the depth of your relationships, and the integrity of your actions. This shift is not easy, because the world around you will keep telling you that you need more to be enough. But the strength to resist that voice is the same strength you build in martial arts. The strength to stand firmly in your center, unmoved by distraction, and when you no longer cling to illusions, you begin to see life more clearly, not as a competition for status, but as a practice of living with presence, gratitude, and authenticity. Many people believe that life's meaning is something they will arrive at in the future. They tell themselves, once I finish my studies, once I earn this amount of money, once I find the right partner, then I will start living. But this way of thinking turns life into a waiting room, where the present moment is only a passage to something supposedly better. The danger is that this better moment never arrives, because the habit of postponing meaning continues. When one goal is reached, another is set, and the mind keeps living in the future, never in the now. This is why so many people wake up one day and realize that years have passed, yet they have never truly lived. The truth is that the only place you can experience meaning is here, now, in this very breath. In martial arts training there is a saying, if you are thinking about your last punch, you will miss the next one. This is not just about fighting, it is about life. If your attention is lost in the past or chasing the future, you will fail to see the opportunities and beauty that exist in the present moment. Each day offers small chances to live with purpose. The kindness you show to a stranger, the focus you bring to your work, the gratitude you feel for something simple like sunlight or a cup of tea. These moments might seem small, but they are the threads from which the fabric of a meaningful life is woven. Ignore them, and you will find that the fabric is full of holes. The present moment is also the only place where action exists. You cannot change the past, and you cannot act in the future. You can only influence what is happening now. Many people waste years waiting for the perfect conditions to start pursuing what matters to them, but perfection is an illusion. If you keep waiting, you may find that life has moved past you. In the Shaolin temple, we trained in every season, whether it was snowing, raining, or burning hot. We did not wait for the weather to be comfortable, because comfort was never the goal. The goal was to train the body and mind to be ready now in any condition. Living with meaning requires the same mindset. You start where you are, with what you have, and you give your best in this moment. When you embrace the present as the place where meaning is created, your relationship with time changes. Instead of rushing through today to reach tomorrow, you begin to see each day as complete in itself. You start asking, how can I live meaningfully right now? This question changes the way you speak, the way you act, and the way you spend your energy. Even the simplest tasks, cleaning a room, preparing a meal, practicing your form, become opportunities to practice awareness, gratitude, and excellence. And over time, these moments accumulate, not as a pile of forgotten days, but as a life that has been lived fully. In this way, meaning is not something you discover once, it is something you create over and over again, in the space of every single moment you are alive. In life, many people speak of their values: honesty, discipline, compassion, respect, but for many these values remain only in words. Words, however, are light and easily carried. It is the practice of those values that gives them weight. This is why in the Shaolin tradition, we repeat movements, meditations, and moral disciplines every day. Through practice, your actions and your values begin to merge until there is no separation between what you believe and how you live. Without practice, values are like seeds kept in a box. They hold potential, but they never grow roots, and they never bear fruit. The alignment of life with values requires effort, repetition, and a willingness to face the discomfort that growth often brings. When your actions do not reflect your values, there is a silent tension inside you. You might speak of kindness, but if you act with impatience or anger, your heart feels the conflict. You might say you value health, but if your habits are careless, your body will remind you of the gap between your beliefs and your reality. This tension erodes meaning, because deep down you know you are living out of harmony. In martial arts, a movement that is not practiced becomes weak, and in the same way a value that is not lived becomes hollow. Practice is the bridge between intention and reality. It transforms values from something you talk about into something you embody. Practice also teaches humility. No matter how strongly you believe in a value, you will fail to live it perfectly. You will lose patience, neglect discipline, or fall short of your own standards. But it is in returning to practice again and again that you strengthen your alignment. In the Shaolin temple, even masters repeat the basics, not because they have forgotten, but because mastery is not the absence of mistakes. It is the commitment to correct them every time they appear. The same is true in life. If you value honesty, practice speaking the truth even when it is uncomfortable. If you value compassion, practice seeing the humanity in those who disagree with you. Over time, these repeated actions carve deep patterns in your character. When you live in alignment with your values through daily practice, life begins to feel lighter, even in difficulty. Decisions become clearer, because you are no longer pulled in opposite directions by conflicting desires and beliefs. Challenges become opportunities to demonstrate what you stand for, rather than threats to your sense of self. And while the world may still be unpredictable, your inner compass remains steady. This is why practice is not just a matter of discipline, it is a matter of freedom. You are no longer swayed by every passing temptation or fear, because your actions moment by moment are in harmony with the principles you have chosen to live by. Through practice, meaning is not something you chase, it becomes the natural reflection of how you live. A life lived only for oneself is like a cup that is always full but never poured. It grows stagnant. True meaning begins to expand when your actions reach beyond your own needs and desires. In the Shaolin tradition, training was never just for personal strength. It was for the protection of the community, the teaching of students, and the preservation of wisdom. When you serve beyond yourself, your efforts become part of something larger, something that will continue even when you are gone. This gives a sense of depth to life that personal achievements alone cannot provide. It is not about abandoning your own growth, but about allowing that growth to benefit others. Service does not always mean grand gestures. Sometimes it is simply the way you speak to people, the patience you offer in a moment of tension, the quiet support you give without seeking recognition. The world often celebrates visible success, awards, titles, wealth, but the most profound acts of service are often invisible. A kind word at the right moment can save a person from despair. A small act of generosity can ripple outward, influencing lives you will never see. In this way, service is not measured by size, but by sincerity. When your intention is to contribute rather than to impress, the smallest action can carry immense weight. Serving beyond yourself also changes the way you experience challenges. When you live only for personal gain, obstacles can feel like threats to your identity and happiness. But when your life is connected to something greater, a cause, a community, a principle, then difficulties become opportunities to strengthen your ability to contribute. In the Shaolin Temple, training was not always easy or pleasant, but we endured because we understood that our practice preserved a lineage, inspired others, and brought discipline and focus to those who came after us. Service gives hardship a different meaning. It transforms suffering into an offering, into something that can serve others in ways you may not immediately understand. The beauty of serving beyond yourself is that it creates a cycle of meaning. When you give, you inspire others to give. When you share your strength, you help others find theirs. Over time, you begin to see that your life is not an isolated story, but a chapter in a much greater book. This awareness dissolves the illusion of separateness and connects you to the larger flow of humanity. You realize that your actions, even the smallest ones, can echo beyond your own lifetime. And in that realization you find a form of meaning that is both humbling and unshakable, the kind of meaning that no loss or change can take away, because it lives in the hearts of others. So when we speak of the meaning of life, it is not a treasure buried somewhere far away, waiting for you to find it. It is not hidden in the words of a master or locked away in ancient texts. The meaning of life is created in the way you live, through the experiences you embrace, the illusions you release, the presence you cultivate, the values you practice, and the service you offer to the world. Every day, life places a brush in your hand. With each thought, each word, each action, you paint a stroke on the canvas of your existence. Some strokes will be strong, others may be clumsy, but together they form the picture of your life. And when the day comes to put the brush down, what will matter is not whether your painting was perfect, but whether it was truly yours, authentic, lived fully, and given in service to something greater. Do not wait for meaning to arrive. Do not search for it in the distance. You are standing on the very ground where it grows. Walk it, live it, become it, and in doing so, you will discover that the meaning of life has been here all along, woven into every breath, every step, and every act of awareness you choose to take.